In April 2026, firearms manufacturer FN Herstal dropped a bombshell on the optics industry. They announced the FN PUREVIEW, a pistol-mounted red dot sight that used something called holographic technology, not the fake holographic stickers you put on your laptop. Real, honest-to-God holographic projection. The company claimed their exclusive patented image guide technology achieved a 25% reduction in housing weight compared with competitors while eliminating visual distortion through a proprietary architecture. But here's what made everyone else in the industry nervous. This wasn't just another red dot with better marketing. This was fundamentally different technology that threatened to make every other pistol optic on the market look like a toy. FN had successfully adapted holographic projection for use on a pistol, creating a system that projects the dot in a way that keeps it aligned with the user's line of sight, resulting in a clearer image with less distortion and more accurate shooting. The implications were staggering. Every major optics company had spent decades perfecting curved glass technology, and FN just made it all obsolete with flat glass and nanoscale engineering. But this story isn't just about one company's breakthrough. It's about how a partnership between a Belgian firearms manufacturer and a small American tech company called Creative Microsystems rewrote the rules of an entire industry overnight, and why every other optics manufacturer is now scrambling to catch up or risk being left behind. To understand why the FN PUREVIEW is causing such chaos in the optics world, you need to understand what every other red dot sight has been doing wrong for the past 30 years. Traditional red dot sights use curved glass lenses that bend light to create the appearance of a floating dot. But curved glass introduces distortion, especially at the edges of the sight picture. It's like looking through the bottom of a wine glass. This optical distortion, often present in optics that have curved lenses, reduces light transmission and prevents true parallax-free aiming. Parallax is when the dot appears to move relative to your target when you shift your eye position. It's a problem that has plagued red dot sights since they were invented, and most manufacturers just accepted it as the cost of business. The other issue is weight. To make a durable red dot sight using traditional technology, you need thick curved glass and a robust housing to protect it. The FN PUREVIEW weighs about 25% less than similar enclosed sights because it doesn't need the same heavy construction. But FN's solution was completely different. Instead of bending light with curved glass, they decided to manipulate light at the molecular level. The image guide technology uses what's called nanoimprint lithography. This is a holographic laser projection technology that projects the reticle parallel to the user's line of sight through billions of microscopic structures etched into multiple thin, bonded layers of glass. Think of it like this. Traditional red dots paint the dot onto curved glass and hope your eye sees it correctly. The PUREVIEW embeds the dot into flat glass at a microscopic level, so it appears exactly where it should be, regardless of where your eye is positioned. The reticle is seen by the shooter as being at the same distance as the target, which eliminates the difficulty of focusing on a sight and a target that are different distances, allowing the shooter to aim with both eyes open while retaining full peripheral vision. Creative Microsystems had been developing image guide technology for transparent displays that don't require sunshades and offer an exceptionally wide field of view in a compact form factor. But it took FN's partnership to adapt this technology for firearms applications. The technical achievement here cannot be overstated. Rather than the curved, tinted glass used in most competing red dot sights, the system uses flat, clear glass with billions of microscopic structures etched into bonded layers via nanoimprint lithography. This is semiconductor-level precision applied to optics manufacturing. Before the PUREVIEW, the pistol red dot market was dominated by three main players: Trijicon with their legendary RMR series, Holosun with their feature-packed offerings, and a handful of smaller companies like Vortex and Leupold fighting for market share. The standout pistol red dots for 2026 were led by Vortex, Holosun, and Trijicon, with models that covered everything from deep concealment carry to dedicated competition rigs. The Holosun 507C continued to dominate as one of the best overall red dot sights for pistols in 2026 thanks to its versatility, durability, and advanced feature set. The Trijicon RMR Type 2 stood as the gold standard for pistol red dot sights. These companies had built their reputations on incremental improvements to basically the same technology that had existed for decades. Then FN showed up with something completely different. Not a better version of existing technology, but an entirely new approach that made everything else look primitive. The FN PUREVIEW is the industry's first holographic micro red dot, offering a fully enclosed red dot that is clearer, easier to shoot, and more durable than most comparable optics. The desperate counterattack. The competitive response was immediate and desperate. At SHOT Show 2026, Holosun introduced numerous new entries in its vast catalog of red dot sights, including the X3 generation of their successful 407C and 507C models. But these were still incremental improvements to curved lens technology. Olight debuted the Osight XR Enclosed Duty Red Dot at NRA-AM 2026, featuring a 2 MOA dot plus 64 MOA ring reticle, dedicated NV button, magnetic charging cover, and multiple mount heights to compete with the heavy hitters in the industry. But again, this was just another traditional LED-based red dot trying to catch up with features, not fundamental technology. The reality is that every other manufacturer was still playing by the old rules, while FN had just changed the game entirely. You can add solar panels, shake-awake technology, and multiple reticle options all you want, but you're still stuck with the fundamental limitations of curved glass optics. Performance in the red line. What makes the PureView even more threatening to competitors is its real-world performance advantages. According to FN's senior product manager Chris Johnson, the result is a clearer sight picture and improved accuracy, especially at longer distances, giving users real-world performance benefits. This isn't marketing speak. The uniquely clear, distortion-free image provided by Image Guide technology overcomes the limitations of many other optical sights and allows excellent target visibility, which is vital in high-stress situations. But here's where it gets really interesting. The PureView doesn't just perform better than traditional red dots. Even if the glass is cracked, the reticle remains visible and zeroed. This is impossible with traditional technology, because if you crack the curved lens, you destroy the optical properties that create the dot. But since the holographic reticle is embedded in the glass structure itself, physical damage to the surface doesn't affect the projection. The optic is waterproof, fog-resistant, and able to operate at extreme temperatures ranging from -40 degrees Fahrenheit to 126 degrees Fahrenheit, and even if the lens becomes damaged, the dot remains visible and usable, the new gold standard. The military and law enforcement implications are enormous. The FN PureView was designed specifically to integrate with duty firearms, focusing on reliability, durability, and real-world performance, with FN's experience supporting military and law enforcement programs, meaning they understand harsh use, testing standards, and long-term support expectations. This is where FN's timing was perfect. They didn't just develop better technology, they developed technology that solves the exact problems that have been plaguing tactical users for years. Distortion, parallax, weight, and durability have been the four horsemen of red dot problems since day one. FN solved all four with one technological breakthrough. The financial implications for the industry are staggering. The PureView has a retail price of $749 in the U.S. market, which positions it as a premium product but not outrageously expensive compared to high-end traditional red dots. The Trijicon RMR HD and RCR retail for similar premium price points. The difference is that FN is offering fundamentally superior technology for basically the same price. Disruptive innovation. This creates what economists call a disruptive innovation scenario. Existing manufacturers can't compete on performance because their technology is inherently limited. They can't compete on price because FN isn't charging a massive premium for their advanced technology. Their only option is to either license similar technology or develop their own holographic systems from scratch. But developing holographic optics technology isn't like adding a solar panel to an existing red dot design. Creative Microsystems is the world leader in ruggedized outdoor augmented reality display systems with proprietary holographic image guide display technology, offering sunlight readability without sunshades, extremely wide field of view, and rugged, compact designs. This is years or even decades of research and development that can't be replicated quickly. The partnership between FN and Creative Microsystems represents something rare in the firearms industry. Most innovation happens incrementally. Companies add features, improve materials, or refine manufacturing processes. But they rarely fundamentally change the underlying technology. FN PUREVIEW is the outcome of a close joint effort between Creative Microsystems and FN's Finnish subsidiary Noptel Oy, specialized in optoelectronic technologies which handled the full development process. This wasn't just FN buying technology from another company. This was a genuine collaboration between firearms expertise and cutting-edge optics research. Creative Microsystems brought the holographic display technology. FN brought the understanding of what firearms optics need to survive in the real world. A new vision for the future. The result is a product that solves problems most users didn't even know they had. Unparalleled optical clarity is achieved through the use of clear, flat glass, guaranteeing fast, instinctive target acquisition and ensuring the user's sight picture remains perfect even under the stress of combat. Most shooters have been accepting optical distortion and parallax as normal because that's just how red dots work. Now they don't have to. But the PUREVIEW isn't just about superior performance. It's about what happens when an industry gets comfortable and stops innovating. For 30 years, red dot manufacturers have been competing on features rather than fundamental technology. Longer battery life, more brightness settings, different mounting systems, and various reticle options. But nobody questioned whether curved glass was the right approach in the first place. FN questioned everything. Unlike other pistol red dots, the FN PUREVIEW uses proprietary image guide technology to create a holographic projection onto a single, flat pane of glass, eliminating the optical distortion of curved lenses and projecting the 3 MOA red dot reticle parallel to the user's line of sight, creating true parallax-free aiming and more light transmission. The industry response has been telling. Instead of rushing to develop competing holographic technology, most manufacturers are doubling down on traditional approaches. Holosun's new X3 generation benefits from improved lens geometry and a refined window presentation with availability in red, green, or signature gold dot for colorblind users, starting at $282.34 for the 407 CX3 and $352.93 for the 507 CX3. These are solid improvements to existing technology, but they're still fundamentally limited by the curved glass approach. It's like improving the carburetor while someone else just invented fuel injection. Adoption and reliability. The real test will be adoption rates. Military and law enforcement agencies tend to be conservative when it comes to adopting new technology. They need to see long-term reliability data before committing to new equipment. But if the PUREVIEW performs as advertised, FN could capture significant market share very quickly. FN built the PUREVIEW to survive the world's most demanding theaters as the only military-grade holographic micro-red dot sight engineered for absolute frontline reliability. This isn't a consumer product that might work well. This is technology designed for people whose lives depend on their equipment working perfectly every time. The implications extend beyond just pistol optics. Designed to meet the rigorous demands of modern multi-role missions, the FN PUREVIEW provides operators with a singular, high-performance, exceptionally compact aiming solution that transitions seamlessly across platforms, serving as the primary optic for pistols, submachine guns, shotguns, and select carbines, or as a backup site for sniper systems and magnified platforms. If holographic technology proves superior for pistol applications, it's only a matter of time before it expands to rifle optics, weapon-mounted systems, and eventually civilian sporting applications. FN isn't just disrupting the pistol red dot market, they're potentially changing the entire trajectory of firearms optics technology. The high cost of stagnation. The timing couldn't be worse for traditional manufacturers. SHOT Show 2026 revealed 6 new competition-ready optics from Vortex, primary arms, shield sights, and more, built for speed, clarity, and precision. But all of these new products are still based on conventional technology. Companies invested heavily in developing and marketing products that are now potentially obsolete. This is what happens when disruptive innovation occurs. Existing market leaders often can't respond effectively because their entire business model is built around the old technology. They have manufacturing facilities designed to produce curved glass optics, supply chains optimized for traditional components, and engineering teams specialized in conventional approaches. FN and Creative Microsystems built their partnership around a completely different technological foundation. The multi-talented team at Creative Microsystems consists of full optical systems, holographic and diffractive optics, augmented reality, optical communication systems, laser physics, microdisplays, microlithography, microelectronics, advanced materials, chemistry, and life sciences, supporting a multidisciplinary approach to problems that often results in technologically significant solutions. This is not just a firearms company trying to build optics. It is an advanced optics company working with a firearms expert to create something the market has not really seen before. The FN PUREVIEW was unveiled at the 2026 NRA Annual Meetings and Exhibits in Houston, with availability expected later that year. Even before it reached most buyers, industry insiders were already treating it as a major shift, not because it added another feature, but because it fundamentally changed how a pistol red dot works. The path forward. The question now is not whether FN made a serious move. The real question is how fast the rest of the industry can respond. Some companies may try to license similar holographic technology. Others will attempt to develop their own systems from scratch. But that is not a quick fix. It requires different expertise, new tooling, and a much deeper background in advanced optics than simply updating an existing red dot design. FN holds another important advantage. The PUREVIEW is not locked exclusively to FN pistols. While built primarily for handguns, the optic is also designed to work on submachine guns, shotguns, select carbines, and as a backup site on magnified systems. Adapter plates for popular pistol platforms further expand its reach, allowing FN to compete across the entire pistol optics market rather than limiting itself to its own customer base. The specifications are practical rather than flashy. The optic weighs 1.55 ounces with the battery installed, runs on a standard CR2032 battery, and delivers around 800 hours of continuous runtime, or up to 1 year with intermittent use and battery-saving modes. It offers 200 MOA of elevation and windage adjustment with 1 MOA clicks. These numbers are not class-leading in every category. Some traditional red dots still offer longer battery life, but that is the accepted trade-off. Holographic projection demands more power than a basic LED system. FN has been transparent about this. The real argument is that superior clarity, zero distortion, and consistent sight alignment are worth the compromise. FN is not claiming the PUREVIEW wins every single category. Instead, it positions the optic as superior where it matters most: sight picture quality, durability under recoil, and real-world performance. Conclusion. This approach reveals something important about the current firearms optics industry. For years, most new red dots have been small updates to the same basic concept: better coatings, new reticles, slightly smaller housings, or longer battery life. Useful improvements, but rarely revolutionary. The PUREVIEW feels different because it questions the old foundation instead of simply polishing it. Now every other optics manufacturer faces a choice: chase holographic technology, double down on traditional curved glass red dots, or try to compete purely on price and features. If the PUREVIEW proves reliable in long-term testing, the market will not wait. Military and law enforcement agencies, the most important early adopters, care far less about hype and far more about whether a sight survives hard use, heavy recoil, extreme temperatures, moisture, and impacts without losing zero. Civilian shooters and competition shooters usually follow where duty users go. If the PUREVIEW delivers on its promises, it will not remain limited to professional platforms for long. What makes this optic truly significant is not that it is slightly better than a normal red dot. It uses a completely different approach. While most pistol optics still rely on curved glass and conventional LED projection, the PUREVIEW adapts ruggedized holographic display technology to a firearm. That adaptation is the difficult part. Holographic displays already existed in other fields, but making one that can survive thousands of rounds of recoil, shock, temperature swings, and real abuse is an entirely different challenge. The partnership between FN and Creative Microsystems made this possible. Creative Microsystems brought deep expertise in holographic and diffractive optics. FN brought decades of understanding what weapon-mounted optics must endure in combat. Together, they created something new for the pistol optics market. If this technology proves itself, its influence could quickly spread beyond handguns into carbines, shotguns, backup sights, and other platforms. More importantly, it may encourage other firearms companies to partner with specialized tech firms rather than relying solely on traditional optics designs. The PUREVIEW did not shake the market through clever marketing. It shook the market because it challenged the basic design of the pistol red dot itself. In an industry built on small yearly upgrades, that kind of fundamental change is rare and powerful.